there are other people like, I understand, I've never met one so far as I know, but psychopaths who apparently are not able to feel at all, no matter how much out of alignment they are.
Well, now think about it. We'll talk about this briefly, but if you're in absolute despair, you don't have access commonly to joyful thoughts, because if you've been beating the drum of despair, let's say you were badly abused, let's say that you had the joyous life sort of beaten out of you at an early life, and so despair was something that you chronically knew. You were afraid, and you felt no freedom, and you were not appreciated, you were treated with disdain, and so enough of that going on, you're going to begin to practice thoughts that are really far, far, far from the thoughts that your inner being has about you, until eventually you could sort of lose your connection with who you are. Now, an inner being of a person like that is still in the vortex, but your inner being doesn't leave the vortex to go rescue you. Your inner being stays in this vibrational place of alignment all the time, offering a signal, always offering a signal. Well, do you know that if you're standing in hope, and your inner being offers its signal of knowledge, that hope just feels delicious as it calls you into the vortex. But if you're over there in despair, that vibration of love, that vibration of appreciation is calling you, but you can't jump suddenly. It's too big of a vibrational gap. It will call you right into revenge or right into anger. And so what happens with a lot of those people, in other words, wouldn't you rather be angry than be afraid? Everyone would. Fear feels awful. Anger is awful too, but it feels a lot better than fear. So what happens, sometimes the circumstances of a person's life only allow them that much leeway. They go from feeling powerless to revenge, powerless to revenge, powerless to revenge. And your society doesn't help them move up the emotional scale, because your society condemns their revenge rather than praising it. In other words, somebody who understood the emotional scale, somebody that understood that that person deserves to feel better and does feel better in his rage, could call him into rage, and then could call him into less rage, and then could call him into anger, and then could call him into overwhelmment, and eventually could call him into hopefulness and right into the vortex, you see. So anyone that you see, it's all relative. And there are people that worry about our message because they say, Abraham, you tell everyone they should do what feels good, and mass murderers like murdering. They think it feels good to them. And we say, they feel better in their power than they do in their powerlessness, but they are a far cry from the vortex.
Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed.